So Chris, obviously social networking, Facebook and its ilk are pretty popular in the consumer space, but IBM's a large organisation, is obviously looking at where social networking can move into Enterprise 2.0. What are your thoughts around that?
Well, I think the first question you have to ask, is there value in doing social networking? Is there value in your employees being able to connect to each other? That's both inside your organisation, and it kind of is, we've got email, we've got instant messaging, I guess at the base level, and telephones, of course. And is there value in them actually talking to people in their network that are outside that organisation? And the research would say yes. That's peer-reviewed academic research. Would say actually there is value. And we've done some research with our consultancy teams to see how the interconnectedness of those individuals within IBM, both connected with their IBM colleagues, peers and management structure, as well as their external social network. How does it relate to the revenue that they earn for the IBM corporation? And it says, the bottom line is the more connected you are, the more money you bring into IBM. and that kind of makes sense, because it's about people knowing people, it's about you having knowledge that you can share with people, and it's about being a sharer of information. It's around linking disparate groups together so that they can collaborate and communicate. There's value in doing that, and there's actually bottom line value in people doing that. So, the question, should people be enabled on LinkedIn, for example? And I would say an organisation like IBM, I think it's incredibly important, because we get value and our network gets value. Now, if you think of enterprise tooling, then that's around where we provide blogs and wikis, ways in which you can search for skills within the organisation. Have communities of practice, so people come together for a project, work together, and then the community disappears or becomes archives and referenceable at a later point. Absolutely there's value in that. And the problem is that, the problem that is often talked about is it's very difficult to measure that. And it's true, it is difficult to measure if you have a financial case to do those types of things. But it's actually relatively easy to demonstrate benefit. By benefit, it says that if I produce a piece of collateral, maybe it's a presentation of some sort. If I then share it with people, or people discover it, and they comment on it and they like it, and I see that, or I see those comments, I can see the number of views, you can say, well, if that piece of collateral wasn't produced, then people wouldn't see it, people wouldn't get value from it. And so it becomes a case of how do you put a financial metric on there. And that's a hard thing to do, but you can put some arbitrary numbers, if you like, and really those arbitrary numbers would give you a trend that said, over a period of time, what is the value of this artifact that I create, and we can sort of do some calculations to show that there is value in that. And so you can do the same for blogs, same for wikis. So we can create, or we can demonstrate value for doing that. However, when we think of businesses, how do you implement these sorts of tools? And the way in which you need to do it to get pure financials is to align your social software, social networking, instant messaging, wiki, blogs, the whole shebang, with a critical or core business process. Again, it comes back to what business processes differentiate you in the market, or what business processes are core for your business, especially for government business, what is core to you. And so by wrapping around those tools of that process, you need to demonstrate speed, flexibility, customer satisfaction, to see if those tools actually give more value. So the example could be, you've got two analysts or admins in two different buildings, and at the moment they've only got email and telephone to communicate with each other. They pick up the phone, leave voicemail to one administrator. A couple of hours later, the administrator picks up the message and then calls the other one back, and you get this sort of this workflow building up. There's a lot of time lags before you actually get a result. If we had instant messaging and presence awareness, we can essentially cut most of that out, and so we gain some productivity then. And if those admins are really working on an application of some skill, then we just shortened that process time. And so by shortening a core process, you can actually put a financial metric on it. And the hard thing is, do you have access to that data? And assuming you do, it's a no-brainer, essentially.